a natural wonder, an aberration of nature that transforms a health threat into flawless, unfathomable beauty. The rare South Sea pearl is the world's finest and most valuable pearl. South Sea pearls grow in the largest pearl oyster, the Pinctata maxima, or the silver or gold-lip pearl oyster, found only in tropical waters of northern Australia and southern Asia. For well over a decade, Atlas has produced some of the world's finest South Sea pearls. Atlas operates in a region best described as a natural wonder, straddling a biological division known as the Wallace Line. Since the beginning of civilization, pearls have captivated the imagination as the ultimate symbol of natural beauty. The rare South Sea pearl totals just 11% of world pearl production, while accounting for over 50% of world market value. Atlas is having particular success with the best, the prized silver, white and gold pearls. This most romantic gem has an inconspicuous beginning, forming when an oyster responds to injury by secreting iridescent layers of nacre, or mother of pearl. In essence, a pearl is the byproduct of a pearl oyster's natural defence mechanism and is the only gem created within a living animal. Throughout history, tales of intrigue and desire have surrounded these precious gems. Cleopatra was so enamoured of these lustrous gifts from nature, she may well have convinced her lover, Julius Caesar, to invade Britain to secure the Green Isle's supply of river pearls. The Chinese have long attributed mystical qualities to pearls, believing they promote health and well-being. Christopher Columbus not only discovered the Americas, he also returned with bags of natural pearls, precipitating a pearl rush to the Gulf of California. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, the world's seas were plied by adventurers seeking their fortune by diving for this elusive gem. Farming of pearls is a more recent event. Cultivation began in the late 19th century when the venerable Japanese noodle vendor Mikimoto commercialised round pearl seeding technology. So began a new era in pearling which, over the past 100 years, has developed into a modern and highly technical enterprise that refuses to lose its challenge and romance. Indonesia is an island nation with more coastline than any other. Much of it is ideal for pearl farming. Luckily for Atlas, the diversity of the Indonesian archipelago provides an opportunity to specialise in pearling ventures on a site-by-site basis. To this end, North Bali is the base for its successful breeding and research program, whilst Karangasem and Nusa Lembongan are boutique pearling sites, leaving remote Papua as the major commercial pearling centre. Atlas has established a state-of-the-art breeding operation in North Bali, where oysters are produced and grown for a year before moving them to their other pearl farms in Indonesia. Atlas is working with geneticists from James Cook University in Australia to develop unique breeding strains which they hope will one day produce even better quality pearls. The process starts with the careful selection of the broodstock. Male and female pearl oysters are placed in specially designed spawning trays. By changing the temperature, water depth and salinity, the pearl oysters are encouraged to spawn. The fertilised eggs are carefully collected on fine mesh screens before they are moved to the incubation tanks. Female pearl oyster can produce up to 60 million eggs. The eggs develop into swimming larvae and are fed a nutritious blend of microalgae or phytoplankton grown in the lab. The larvae feed by filtering the microalgae from the seawater, hence the water quality standards must be of the highest order. The larvae grow fast, and by day 16 they are moved into tanks with special nets or collectors on which the larvae will attach. At this point the larvae stop swimming and metamorphose into young oysters. Usually only 20% of larvae survive this transition. Young pearl oysters are called spat, and during hatchery cultivation can require up to 500 litres of food each day. Once they are 1.5 to 2 millimetres in size, they're moved out to the farm. The nets are suspended from long lines, each 200 metres long, with at least 100 metres of anchor rope at each end. One long line can hold 200 nets, one net every metre. The number of oysters per line varies with age. A long line will hold up to several 100,000 small spat, but only 3,200 mature oysters. Across Indonesia, Atlas has almost 600 long lines, equating to almost 250 kilometres of rope. During the 2 years it takes to reach operable size, each pearl oyster will be cleaned and graded hundreds of times. Once the oysters have reached 12 centimetres, they are brought to the operations centre and held overnight in specially designed tanks supplied with clean flowing seawater. This is in preparation for the pearl operation the following day. The surgical technique starts with a precise incision into the body of the oyster. Next, a small shell bead or nucleus is implanted, followed by the SIBO or tissue graft. The SIBO is taken from a carefully selected donor oyster that has particularly beautiful nacre or mother of pearl. It's the SIBO tissue that produces the nacre and subsequently creates a pearl. Afterwards, the oysters are left to recuperate in a special area of the farm. In less than a week, the SIBO tissue will begin to grow around the nucleus, forming the pearl sac. Once the pearl sac is fully formed, the process of layering nacre over the nucleus will begin and the pearl will start to grow. By 12 weeks, the pearl oysters are moved to the main section of the farm. 6 months after pearl surgery, the oyster is returned to the operation centre and x-rayed to see if the pearl has grown. Oysters with pearls are returned to the farm, while those without are used for seafood and processing of mother of pearl. Nothing is wasted. It takes almost 2 years for the pearl to grow. The total time from hatchery to harvest is almost 4 years. At harvest, the technician surgically removes the pearl without killing the oyster, and if the pearl is of a high quality, the oyster is reseeded for a second pearl. Sometimes the nucleus is rejected, but a pearl still grows. These are called keshi and are identical to natural pearls. After harvest, pearls are washed and cleaned before grading. South Sea pearls are not dyed or treated, but sold in their natural colours. There are 5 main quality characteristics to look for: shape, colour, size, lustre and surface. For Atlas, the privilege of operating in this spectacular region allows it to deliver a small but precious icon of our world's natural beauty, the Atlas South Sea pearl.